Hey there friends! Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Magic. In today's video, we are going to be diving into the full moon in Sagittarius that's happening on June 14, 2022. This is going to be a reading for the collective, so there are no piles to choose from today. In a minute, I'm going to be talking about what this full moon means and other important astrological events that are happening around the time of this full moon. So if you're not interested in hearing about any of that, feel free to scroll down to the description bar or the pinned comment and skip ahead to the reading. A couple of quick disclaimers before we start. Tarot is just a tool that reads the current energy, and energy is always changing. So remember that you have free will and the power to create change. Keep in mind this is a general reading, so take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. Don't try to force all the messages to fit for you and your life. There could simply just be messages here that are meant for other people watching that just aren't meant for you. So let's talk about this full moon. In the lunar cycle, full moons represent culmination, completion, reflection, and letting go. And actually, this full moon in Sagittarius will also be a supermoon. And supermoons occur when the moon reaches the closest point to the Earth on its orbit, making it appear larger in the sky. A supermoon amplifies an already climatic and emotional event. The mutable fire sign of Sagittarius is ever exploring and truth-seeking, representing the quintessence of a free spirit, traveling nomad, and student of life. Jupiter is Sagittarius's ruling planet, giving this sign a bounty of good luck, optimism, and an expansive worldview. As we just had the new moon in Gemini a couple weeks ago, which can feel really quick, erratic, and nearsighted, if you will, the full moon in Sagittarius shifts our focus to the horizon and our long-term goals. This full moon is an opportunity to release self-limiting beliefs about pursuing our goals and freeing ourselves from any self-imposed limitations. Some other important astrological events happening in and around the time of this full moon. First, let's take a quick moment to celebrate the end of Mercury retrograde, which we will not be encountering again until September. Speaking of retrogrades, though, on June 4th, we had Saturn entering retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, where he will be retrograding until October 23rd. But don't let retrogrades scare you. They offer a really amazing opportunity for pausing, reflecting, and getting back on track. The outer planets actually spend about half the year retrograding, so we've all experienced this many times. Saturn represents our biggest challenges in life, our karma, restrictions, and time as well. Along with Capricorn, Saturn is the classical ruling planet for Aquarius. Besides being quirky, eccentric, and innovative, all qualities it receives from its other ruling planet, Uranus, Aquarius also displays high levels of intellectual discipline and strongly sustains its own principles because it's a fixed sign. So in ways, Aquarius represents both the conventional and all the ways to disrupt these conventions. Saturn retrograde offers us a chance to think about what hasn't been working and how we can realign and focus on our goals. Is what you're building made to last the test of time? Because Aquarius represents the collective, our hopes, dreams, and social circles, how can you shift your perspective from the ego to unity? How can you translate what you're doing or working on to benefit the highest good of the collective? This is a time to look into the future and understand where it is you want to go. Saturn respects discipline and perseverance, so expect your hard work to pay off, but not without a challenge and some blood, sweat, and tears, of course. On June 15th, we have Mars conjuncting Chiron in Aries in the 6th house. All those things you keep sweeping under the rug will come up yet again with this transit. Your options here are either to keep pushing things down or to confront them. With Mars's harmonious aspect here, you're likely to feel more driven and fearless when confronting old wounds. That doesn't mean it'll be easy. Chiron represents our deepest and most painful wounds, the things that tend to break us over and over again. But Chiron always gives us an opportunity for awareness, purging, healing, and growth if we bravely face these painful problems, beliefs, wounds, or past experiences. Mars will give you the push that you need to take action towards healing. This transit is happening in the 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo and Mercury, and which deals with health, service to others, and routines, and are likely to be the kinds of topics that come up during this healing opportunity. There may be a strong push-pull energy between focusing on the self and on the other. There's a strong emphasis on health and the physical body, so do take care during this time as you'll be more likely to suffer from an injury. Fears or trauma relating to health may come up as well. Find a healthy outlet for your emotions, and if exercise or physical activity is part of your routine, take it easy to avoid injury. Also be cautious of being overly aggressive or even passive aggressive. On June 15, we have Venus conjuncting the North Node in Taurus. The North Node represents our destiny, what we spend our lives moving towards. It represents an area of focus. The North Node moved into Taurus in January 2022, where it'll stay for 18 months. Venus is the ruling planet for Taurus and loves to be here, so this is a very harmonious transit. This transit will bring relationships and finances into the spotlight. You'll be taking stock of your situation and asking yourself if these are people or ideals that you want to take with you into your future. This is also a very creature comforts type of transit, so beauty, aesthetics, food, and money are all likely to flow easily to you. This is a creative time, and you may also meet a significant person around this time as well. On June 16, we have the Sun in Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius retrograde. Here, the Sun in Gemini will illuminate and provide us with information about how we can move forward with our goals. Research, downloads of information, reading, listening, and speaking to others, and also self-reflecting will provide insights about whatever Saturn retrograde brings up for you personally. Also happening on June 16, we have the Sun in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. You may struggle to discern between reality and illusion. Don't take what people say and do as gospel. Allow yourself time and space to process and weigh all sides of what was said or done. You may also experience enlightenment in regards to a situation or problem you've been facing. This challenge between reality and illusion can ultimately lead you closer to your authentic truth. Neptune is one of Pisces' ruling planets and loves to be there, so this is a great time to work on creative projects or spiritual practices, as heightened imagination will need an outlet. Last but certainly not least, on June 18, we have Venus in Taurus squaring Saturn in Aquarius retrograde. While we have both planets in their ruling signs here, a square between Venus and Saturn is quite challenging. Venus and Saturn squaring off is almost like a stern disciplinary father being in conflict with his free-loving daughter. Venus strives for harmony and peace in all things she does, whereas Saturn challenges, pushes, and restricts us. This transit can cause conflict or delays in your relationships or finances. However, with Saturn in Aquarius retrograde, like we talked about before, you may also find creative solutions to any blockages that come up during this time. Taurus and Aquarius are both fixed signs, so expect a lot of stubbornness from you and from others. You'll likely have to work harder than usual to remain open-minded and flexible. So that's everything for the astrological portion of this video, and now we are going to go ahead and jump straight into the reading. So we are going to start off by taking a look at some oracle cards, then we'll get the tarot and finish the reading off with guidance, advice, and closing messages. So I'm going to put the tarot off to the side for now. Okay, let's take a look at what the main energy and overall theme for this full moon in Sagittarius is. We have compassion, number 15. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. We have freedom. We have cozy up with risk, number 61 in reverse. We have the camel with the fire element. And we also have confusion with the crown chakra. So actually the first thing that I want to say is I just saw an extremely tiny feather float and land on the compassion card. So just know that you are so divinely protected and being supported right now, and especially around the time of this full moon in Sagittarius. Know that you're being really supported and looked after in the spiritual realm. But really what I'm seeing, you guys, is the collective seems to be going on this journey, which doesn't surprise me as this is the full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ever wandering, always exploring, always going on a new journey. And I see that reflected here with the camel, which does talk about going on long journeys as well. And what's interesting is that even though this is related to the fire element, because we do find camels, you know, in the desert and places like that, but what's interesting is the camels also is also represented by the water element as well, because as we know, they store water in their humps, and that's part of how they really survive in these extreme climates in the desert. So it's like when you're in the heat of the moment, when your back is up against the wall, when you're finding yourself in maybe a chaotic situation or a challenging situation, what this is telling me is that you have everything you need within to survive this, and not just to survive, but like to come out on the other side of this triumphant. On that note, as water does represent our emotions, there could be a lot of emotions that have been bottled up for a while that may be coming to the surface with this full moon in Sagittarius, because we also do have this cozy up with risk card in reverse, and we have confusion with the crown chakra. So you may feel that for a period of time that you felt quite stuck in some ways, or maybe feeling a bit paralyzed, maybe feeling really fearful about taking action of any kind. Maybe it's been so long that you've taken certain action that it's affecting your confidence in some way or your self-esteem in some way, and you may have been questioning, like, can I even do this? Am I even capable of it? Like, what if everything goes to shit? You know, how do I know if this risk is well managed, or if I'm just like blowing things out of proportion and jumping the gun and I like don't really know what I'm doing? There's a lot of overthinking here and a lot of fear. I would definitely say to work on grounding and even listening to root chakra meditations or root chakra sound bowls, because this will really help with this feeling of fear or this lack of security you may feel in yourself when it comes to taking action or making decisions. Because the number 61 reduces to a 7, which is a very spiritual number. It represents higher knowing and our connection to source and all things magical and mystical as well. So I almost feel like this blockage in the root chakra is as well causing some imbalances or blockages in the crown chakra as well, where you feel so rooted in fear that it's not allowing source to come in, it's not allowing the universe to come in, it's not allowing God to come in. However you choose to label that higher power is totally up to you. In my eyes, they're all one and the same, so you choose whatever label feels right to you. But because we also have this compassion card, which literally talks about being the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. So it's almost like there's this channel of energy or information from source that's wanting to come through, but there's some blockages in the root and the crown, which could be delaying this from coming through, or just not allowing it to come through in general. But the really amazing and beautiful thing is that this is all ending. We have freedom here. So it's like you're really finding it within yourself to break free and to go for whatever it is that you were wanting to go for. It's like you're trading in feeling fearful for being curious and thinking about things in that lens or in that regard instead. So instead of thinking like, oh my God, what if I take this action and it goes terribly wrong and I fail and like all of these things happen, you know, I'm just not going to take that risk. I'm going to choose to not do anything instead. Whereas now, instead of thinking that way, you may be thinking, okay, if I take this action, sure, here are some things that could possibly go wrong, but let's also look at all the things that could possibly go right as well. And if it does go well, you know, where is that going to lead me and what other actions can I take? You know, it's just about being a bit more curious about how things will go instead of just living in fear of taking action and having that prevent you from moving forward at all. I see you really starting to take a leap of faith and trusting that no matter what happens, you're gonna be okay. Like whether or not, so you know how I said right at the beginning, I saw that like teeny little feather float and land on the compassion card. Look at this. Yeah, it's like literally your spiritual team is like all around you, keeping you safe, protecting you, comforting you. Yeah, okay. I love that. I didn't even notice that before. What was I saying? Right, I see you just really trusting in the fact that no matter what happens, like you're gonna be okay. Just because things may go wrong doesn't mean you're not equipped to deal with it. It doesn't mean that's gonna be the end of the road for you or the end of life for you. When challenges come up, when obstacles come up, use that as an opportunity to strategize and use some creative thinking as to how we can go around these obstacles, right? And also remember that sometimes rejection is divine protection. So you may thought that, you know, going down this certain path would lead you exactly to where you want to go, but of course the universe has the highest perspective on things, and so it may put an obstacle in our path to redirect us into a better route, right? It's all our perspective on things. We can either look at that as this is the end of the world because this is the only pathway that I initially thought of, so it's blocked, I can't move forward, and I'm just gonna give up here. Or we can say, okay, this obstacle has been put on my path for a reason. Let's try something else. What else can I try? How can I do things differently? And it's not about beating yourself up. It's not about being hard on yourself, judging yourself, critiquing yourself. It's about being compassionate towards yourself and saying, you know what? I'm doing a damn fine job. And, you know, at the end of the day, even though I am a soul having a human experience, I am a human and I don't know everything and I can't know everything, and that's totally okay. That's why we collaborate with the universe in co-creation, because we can't do everything on our own. So you're being really kind to yourself, you're being really compassionate to yourself, and you're giving yourself a lot of grace, forgiving yourself for maybe being afraid of certain things, being afraid of taking action, or forgiving yourself for feeling stuck for so long. Everything has its divine purpose, and you feeling stuck or you feeling afraid is leading you to this moment where eventually you will feel ready to start taking one step at a time, which will lead into running. And then you'll be ready to just jump and start flying, right? You'll be able to spread your wings and fly. The number 15 reduces to a 6, which is all about balance, harmony, and unconditional love. And This message just keeps coming up that you're so surrounded and really being comforted and supported during this time. If it resonates, Archangel Raphael may work with you, comforting you and giving you love and support during this time. Take that as it resonates. And with the crescent moon here on the camel, it's like if you have been having trouble discerning your intuition or trying to hear or feel what your intuition is telling you, where it's trying to guide you, if you've been struggling to do that, it is because of this blocked root chakra and crown. But I see that the more actions that you start taking and the more progress you start making, the kinder you start being towards yourself and forgiving yourself, your intuition will become more and more clear to you. And it's like the thing is, okay, there's a message coming through of like, if you're feeling stuck, right? And you don't know how to get out of it and you're just kind of waiting. The thing is that things aren't going to unstick themselves. And the irony is, in order to become unstuck, we have to start taking actions, even though we may not necessarily know what we're doing. You know, it may not be the most ideal path or the most ideal actions that we start taking, but it's just the very fact alone of taking actions that as we start doing that and trusting that eventually we'll be where we need to be, is what allows the energy to start being unstuck. It's like you need to become the thing that you're waiting to just drop in your lap, right? Because the universe needs something to work off of. If you say to the universe or to your guides, like, you know, I'm really tired of feeling stuck. Please guide me towards what actions I can start taking to kind of free myself from this energy. And the universe and your guides are like, okay, so they start presenting you with opportunities. But you see these opportunities and you're like, yeah, you know, I don't really want to do that. Like, I just kind of wanted to wake up one day and like feel unstuck, and then I would just start taking action. But it doesn't work that way. We need to be the energy of the thing that we're receiving. So if you want to be unstuck, you need to start taking action, and then slowly you will start to see, as you take more and more action, it gets your energy moving, it shifts your vibration, and that gives something the universe to bounce off of. So that was a bit of a specific message, but let's go ahead and grab the tarot. I want to find out a little bit more. So spirit guides, please, what can the collective expect with this full moon in Sagittarius, please? That's happening on June 14, 2022. What can the collective expect with this full moon in Sagittarius, please? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we have all these clouds in the confusion card, and there's clouds here in the freedom card. And while clouds represent like confusion and things like that, they also represent shape-shifting. And that's like exactly what we were talking about. It's like your energy is going to be shifting, your mindset's going to be shifting, the way that you're perceiving things is going to be shifting, and it's really going to allow you to start, like, they're showing me a gear that was kind of like locked up, and it's like your energy is shifting and it's allowing this gear to start slowly clicking and turning again, whereas before it was just like locked up and just not moving at all. Okay, so what can the collective expect with this full moon in Sagittarius, please, spirit guides? Okay, so we have the Empress. I just saw 3131 on the timer, in case you've been seeing those numbers, or you may have been seeing repeating 4s lately, repeating 1s, repeating 3s. Okay, we also have the Queen of Cups. What else, please? What can the... Okay, we have the High Priestess. Ooh, lots of feminine energy here. What else, please? What can the collective expect with this full moon in Sagittarius, please? Okay. We also have the Page of Wands. Do I want to get one more card? No, I do not. The back of the deck is the Ace of Wands. Okay, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, some zodiac signs in case it's relevant. We have Taurus and Libra with the Empress. With the Queen of Cups, we have water signs, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. With the High Priestess, we have more Pisces energy. And then with the Page of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the fire element here, we have the fire signs, which would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So we have fire and water, which is actually really... Oh, well, I mean, I guess with the Empress too, but we mostly have fire and water, which is exactly what I was talking about here with the Camel card. Oh, and we literally, there's a... Wow. There's a campfire on this card. So before we even get into the tarot, fire and water could be it could be helpful for you to work with those elements. So if you can get out in nature to, like, you know, the sea, a river, a pond, you know, something like that, or taking a bath, a salt bath, or really transforming your shower experience and like envisioning white light pouring down on you, cleansing you, things like that. Or using fire. Of course, be careful. We don't want anything to burn down. But for example, you could set intentions with candles. You could do a burning bowl ritual where maybe you write down some things that you want to release and let go of, and you burn those pieces of paper. I'm getting scrying. You can scry with like a bowl of water, or gazing into a candle flame can also be kind of like really calming, grounding, kind of hypnotic as well. So yeah, that came through really strongly. But okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards. So I find this really interesting because these three cards here, the Empress, the High Priestess, and the Page of Wands, they all have their eyes closed. They're all either sleeping or in this kind of deep meditative state. And that's exactly how you're going to really start shifting your energy. Okay, by channeling this divine feminine energy into yourself. How can you nurture yourself better? How can you take care of yourself better? How can you be kinder to yourself, to your body? How can you speak to yourself more kindly? How can you be more forgiving of yourself and of others? And what I'm really getting is that the more you nurture yourself and the more you surrender to the flow, the more clear the answers will become. Because we have the Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands, which really represents like, it's like getting your spark back, feeling this like hit of excitement, of motivation, of feeling really curious and adventurous, and just being like, it's like what I'm seeing is someone's alarm going off in the morning and they like pop up out of bed, close their alarm clock, and they're just like, all right, let's fucking do it. Like, game on. I'm ready for today. I'm ready to handle things. But it's like that moment will come after you allow yourself the space of just allowing things to be. Some of you may, and this is totally understandable, like I struggle with this too, where it's like you feel stuck in some regard, or maybe there's something that isn't working, something that you're not really liking, and you feel very adamant about changing it. And sometimes when we're in that energy, we could be pushing a little bit too hard about trying to get the answer right away. And that can actually create more blockages and more delays because we're not allowing things to flow to us naturally. It's like we're trying to force it, right? It's like we're trying to grab it out of thin air and bring it towards us. And especially with this confusion card, there's an element of like, why do you feel that you need to have the answer right away? And again, this element of trusting that the answer will come to you at the right time, and to, in the meantime, while this answer or while these solutions are on its way, to take that time to rest, to really nurture yourself, take care of your body, take care of your emotional state, your mental state, get lots of rest and sleep so that you are replenished and recuperated enough so that when these ideas start coming in, you actually have the energy to go forth and start taking action, right? There's definitely something that's going to be coming in, like with the Empress here, some kind of idea, also with the Ace of Wands, Page of Wands. So like it's not a matter of if, but when, right? It's like with this Empress card, we see that she's pregnant. And with the pregnancy, it's like the baby's going to come out when it's ready to come out. And it's kind of the same with this. It's like really, this full moon is really calling for you to just surrender to the flow, surrender to the divine timing, trust that the universe has heard you and is responding and is preparing to bring things into your life, whether this is an idea of how to move things forward, whether this is just a renewal of confidence, a renewal of energy, removing blockages, whatever it is. Believe that the universe is delivering, because it is. And in the meantime, really nurture and take care of your energy. It's like when you order something online, like the minute that you click confirm your order, you don't expect it to be at your doorstep, right? And it's the exact same thing here. You know, sometimes there's shipping delays, sometimes there's traffic, sometimes the company runs out of the product and then you have to wait a bit longer. You know what I mean? You can't control the whole process, right? If you put your energy out into the universe and you're like, I really want this, trust that the universe is going to respond to you, but you need to be open and receptive to how the universe is going to do that. Even if it looks different than what you imagined, that doesn't mean that it's wrong or not happening. It's about being really, really open-minded, like Sagittarius would, right? Sagittarius loves to explore and learn. It's all about higher learning. Sagittarius is very philosophical and spiritual as well. So this full moon is really calling for you to dig deep in your faith, knowing that nothing is permanent. Even if this situation feels like it's been happening forever and it feels like there's no end in sight, nothing is forever and energy is always changing. So don't lose hope, okay? Really have unwavering faith that something better is coming in, because we have a page and an ace here. There's definite new beginnings coming in, or some kind of like new energy or an opportunity that you can collaborate with. I definitely see that. Yeah, look at that. We have the Four of Swords under the Ace of Wands. The Four of Swords is all about a period of healing, a period of deep rest and recuperation, okay? Sleeping well, making sure you're getting enough rest. Okay, so the message is very, very clear here that before you'll be ready to be in a state of taking action, you first really need to nurture your energy, nurture your body, and take this time to take care of yourself, and then this will come in for you, okay? Let's take a look at some advice. So we have, look, are you serious? Come on. We have a new start is coming, new moon. What, literally. Actually, I'm gonna move this deck out of the way so we have some more room. So I'll put the Ace of Wands there, and let me just shift these a little bit. Okay, so we have a new start is coming. So it could be that by the next new moon, which I'm gonna have to put it up on the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head, but it could be that by the next new moon is when things start happening. And then we also look at that. Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. Exactly. I was talking about confidence earlier. So exactly. Confidence is your key to success. This is, again, like having that unwavering faith, having that confidence, and knowing that the situation is going to change and that the universe is going to deliver on your wishes, on your dreams, on your requests. The universe wants to bring you this new start and is working behind the scenes to make that happen for you. It's like, you see this bird, this one bird is flying in this direction, but it doesn't see all of these other birds that are behind it. And it's like, that's the universe. You may feel that like you're standing here alone, totally confused, but in reality, your spiritual team is all around you. The universe is all around you, supporting you, helping you, guiding you along, okay? So it could also be maybe around the new moon in Leo, which is in August. I'll put that date up on the screen as well. But it's like, don't lose sight of this new beginning or this fresh start or whatever it is that you want. Hold that vision in your mind and let it make you feel excited knowing that it's coming in. And in the meantime, just rest. You know what this almost feels like? Okay, do you remember being a kid and you were having your birthday party? It was the day of your birthday party and you're just so excited and like impatient for all of your friends to arrive. It was like as soon as you'd wake up in the morning, you'd be like bouncing off the walls and you'd be like, oh my God, is it time for the party yet? Is it time for the party yet? Is anyone here yet? But you have to wait until like, you know, the middle of the afternoon and it feels like it's so far away. It's like, let yourself be excited, but in the meantime, it's like rest so that you can prepare for this party, so that you can prepare for all of this new energy that's coming in, all of these blessings that are coming in. This could even be for some of you, if you've been having creative block, writer's block, if you've been feeling uninspired in any way because you've been feeling so like stuck and stagnant, what's coming in could be a really creative idea or like a creative project or something like that with Leo here, as well as the Ace and the Page of Wands is something else that I'm getting. As well as with all of this water energy and the Empress, this is extremely creative energy. And for some of you as well, this could even be about like psychic gifts coming through or finding your calling as well, like just finding something that you're really passionate about, something that you really want to dedicate yourself, something that you want to just focus your time on is something else that I'm getting with all of this like fire and water and the Empress here. Yeah, it's like you're going to be finding out what it is that you want to build and grow and share with people. I love this. I really love this. This is really exciting. Let's take a look at your self-care cards now. So we have Connect with Your Womb, number 15, which we have two 15s here. So the 15th could be very significant. That would be the day after the full moon. Interesting. We have the 16th. Oh no, sorry, that's 61. It's upside down. Okay, so we have Connect with Your Womb. We also have Intuition. Look at that, you guys. Okay, so literally, Connect with Your Womb. Whether you are a male or a female or however you identify, this is just talking about connecting with your feminine energy, connecting with your creative energy. So as well as the root and the crown really being highlighted, we have your heart chakra really being illuminated here with compassion, as well as the sacral chakra here with connect with your womb. Right, look at that. We have the Empress who's pregnant, and we have a card talking about the womb. So what is it that you want to create? What have you been longing to create? What have you been longing to start? It's like there's something that's really just wanting to be birthed, and you're going to be coming into that knowledge, your intuition, right? And I was talking about that at the beginning with this moon and the camel card. Like, if you couldn't hear your intuition before, if you couldn't discern your intuition before because of fears, blockages, maybe issues regarding your confidence or self-esteem, it's clearing up, and your intuition is going to start speaking to you. You're going to start learning what that voice sounds like. I mean, wow, even the third eye chakra here is really being highlighted. So most of the chakras are at play here, and that actually makes sense. That's why it's really important to rest and recuperate, because I feel like your guides in the universe are really working with you to cleanse out your chakras. There could just be a lot of blocked and stagnant energy that's just being held on to, that the universe is working with you to release and clear out. And when we do things like that, it's like an energetic surgery. So the same way that you would allow yourself to rest and heal after having a physical surgery, it's important to do the same thing when we are purging things energetically, which I can also see here with the womb and the Empress, right? Because it's not just a vessel that contains things, it's also, I just heard an exit strategy. That is literally like the weirdest way to explain what I was thinking. But okay, an exit strategy, if you will. Yeah, and that's interesting because we're talking about the flow too, and we have the womb. So much about feminine energy. I would say, especially if you identify as female, or if you identify as female, it could even be that like your cycle is linked to the moon cycle as well. That's something that's coming through that may just be relevant for a few people. But let's take a look at your final cards now. These are going to represent any blessings, challenges, or just general things to know about this full moon. So we have, look at that, victory in some endeavor. Yes. Okay, we have fan, romance, celebration, party. Okay. We have broom, new home, new attitude. I just heard new year, new me. And then I also just heard new phone, who dis? Okay, we have desk, pay attention to your work. We have candle, you'll be shown the way. Yes. Actually, I'm gonna move these over. It bothers me so much when the cards aren't straight. Okay, we also have younger man, dealings a relationship with a younger man. And we have turkey, someone is behaving stupidly. Okay. Actually, that's cut off a bit. Let me move these down some more. Okay, so you could be dealing with someone that's behaving stupidly, as this card says. It doesn't have to be a man. It could be someone that has like strong masculine energy, and they may be biologically younger than you, or they just may be less emotionally developed, maybe a bit more immature in that sense. But I don't really like this. Kind of just feels like a small passing message. This definitely doesn't feel like the highlight of things to know, and I feel like this isn't going to resonate for anyone, or that it's not going to resonate for everyone is what I wanted to say. But look at that. You're going to be shown the way. You are literally being led and guided towards victory, okay? And there's going to be a whole celebration after this. So you could be moving with this broom card here. You could be switching up your environment. You could be redecorating. You could be renovating. Or this could even just be like with the broom and the desk here. It's giving me really strong foundation vibes. So you could just be, if you're not moving or anything like that, you could literally just be awakening to this newfound sense of security and stability within yourself as you clear up your root chakra. And you'll just have this newfound attitude, this new perspective on how to look at things. And in the end, you're going to be victorious. I will say, with all of this feminine energy, we have the womb here, we have the Empress, new start, new home. This could be about a pregnancy. That's obviously not going to resonate for everyone, but I just wanted to throw it out there, especially with this romance celebration party card. You could be finding out some good news and celebrating with your loved ones. But all in all, don't be afraid that you can't see the path ahead, because the answers are coming to you and Spirit is holding your hand and guiding you through the darkness out onto the other side, okay? That's everything that I'm seeing for this reading. Let me know how this resonated for you in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and hit the post notification bell so you never miss out on when I upload a video. I love you so, so much. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.